Today, I just want to show you how we can store our file using Azure Storage. So I'm going to divide this video into two parts. The first part, gonna first do the web API, where we're gonna able to write our function to able to delete, create files, upload files, edit files, and so forth. So let's get started. So the first thing that we're gonna do now, we're gonna create a resource of our storage. So let's get started. So if you go to your Azure portal, and then you're gonna go and create a new storage account. So I'm gonna just click create. A subscription, you're gonna choose the one that you have, the resource group. Select the one you're gonna use. I'm gonna use the one. If you don't, you can create a new one. So name the storage that you're gonna create. So I'm gonna call it file blob storage. So it's already been taken. Let me write something unique. So let me say codec file blob. Let's see if this one, okay, this one is available, and then choose the location that is near you. So I'm in South Africa. I'm gonna choose South Africa North. The performance for this tutorial, I'm gonna stick to the standard one, and then the redundancy, I'm gonna stick with the geo redundant storage, and then make read access of data available, and then just review and create. So that's it. We're gonna click create. You can go to the resources. So once the storage has been created, let's just view our storage. So you can see we have the container, the table, the queue, and the file share. So for this tutorial that we're gonna do, I'm gonna go to containers and then click add container. So I'm gonna call this container codec files, and then you can choose whatever you want. So you can see there's different type of access level you're gonna need. So first one is private, there's a blob, there's a container. So we're gonna stick with the private one, and then if you go to advanced, so you can see that we have the encryption scope and so forth. So let's leave the rest as default. So I'm just gonna discuss whatever that I did. Let me recreate it again. It's codec files, and then just create it as it is. So you can see here is our container, and then it's gonna be empty because we didn't add any file or something like that. So if I can just show you for now, we can upload a file manually. So let me just upload this one there, and then you click on upload. The file has been uploaded successfully. You can see it's there. So I can also delete this file there, okay, and then the file is deleted. So we're gonna create an API that we can able to upload this file and also able to view all the files and delete, yeah, and so forth. So let's get started. So the other thing that we're gonna do, I mean stuff that we're gonna need from this storage, if you can go back to our storage, we're gonna need the access key. So you can see there, here's our access key. So we're gonna copy this access key and able to put it on our API. So to get started, so I'm gonna create a new API using Visual Studio. So while the Visual Studio started, so I'm gonna go to new project. I'm gonna choose an API. Yeah, for this project we're gonna use 3.1.net. So authentication, as you can see, there's no authentication, and then configure for HTTP. So I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna call this project Codeka dot, I will say Azure dot files dot, or let me say Azure Storage dot API. So so we're gonna create our project, and then you get packages that we're gonna use throughout this project. So you can go to manage and you get packages, and then the first package we are looking for is Azure.blob. In fact, Azure Storage.blob, not a blob. Okay, you can see there is our package. Okay, we can just add to a project. Okay, accept. And then the next one is Windows Azure.storage. So here it is. So you can just edit. So the first one I'll call models, and then the other one I'm gonna call it services, and then the last one I will call it contracts or interface. So in model, I'm gonna create a new class, which I'm gonna call it Azure storage account. So just an empty class. So new one. Now in this class gonna have few properties, so let me remove the constructor. I don't really need it, so I'm gonna have a prop. If a string, and I'm gonna have an account name. Also another prop, type of a string, access key, and I'm gonna also have the last one, which is a container name. So if you remember or recall earlier, we created our container name, and I also show you that we're gonna need the access key. So our account name is the storage name. I'm gonna save this one. File manager Azure access. We're gonna create it. So in this interface, I'm gonna have an object process command. So I'm gonna have string command string blob name, and then another string blob name 2, and then another one. I'm gonna have an object create error results. So which you can have a string error, which is often null. Then let me see. Okay. So let me rename also this one so that we have following there. Cool. So I'm gonna copy this one, and then we go to our service. We're gonna create an implementation class for this interface. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna name this class dead. Our class, our interface, so that we can implement our interface. Then what we're gonna do, we're gonna just say implement our interface there. So we're just gonna have our variables that we're gonna use, and then we're gonna explain it to you now. So you can check here. We're gonna have our dummy blob name, the maximum blob size, and then our storage account, and then after that we're gonna have our method. You can see we have an allow create, allow remove, rename or move or copy, upload and download. So for this one, we're gonna need our namespace. So I'm gonna just come in here and add our namespaces so that we can able to use this class. And then if we can check, this is the class that we created earlier, so I'm gonna come here and see users. Then so the other thing that I'm gonna add, I'll show you now, is our container and the blob client. So I'm gonna come here, add our client. You can see on the get, we just check if the client is now, and then we create credentials. So in our credentials, we're gonna pass, in fact, create a new instance of storage credentials, and then we pass our storage name and also the access key, and then from there we create an account, and then after that we initiate a new cloud storage account, and then we pass our credentials, and then after that we just create a new cloud blob client. And then for a container, we do the same, and then we just get the container reference where we get the container name. So let me just update this container. So our container has been like that. Okay, then yeah, and then we return our container. So let's see, so the first method that I'm gonna create now, in our constructor, we're just going to set up our methods or properties to true. So what I'm gonna do, this is what I'm gonna do. You can see we are going to read our Azure Storage account property from our JSON app settings file. That's why we're using an I option, and then after that we get this value. So you can see here we've done that, and then just setting other properties that we declare the area to true. So the first method that we're gonna do is copy blob. So for us to get this copy blob, so I must first create this get share access signature and get share access create success results. So let me grab this code because I've already done it. I will just grab it here. I think the first thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna put it here on top, so our code will be much readable. You can see we have our share, we have our create, and then let's add the last one, which is we have a get. Then I'll explain it to you in a second. So there is our code. Then let's remove this one. All right, so basically what we've done here, let me start with, so we have our create error results. So in the create error results, we're just checking if our error is null, and then we just say unspecified error, and then else we just return success is false, and then error is equal to error. So it's so simple. Then on our share access block policy, create access policy method, we just passing the permission. So in the permission, you just return the date, the minutes, and then the permission will be the same that you're going to be passed. And then on create success, you can see you passing to URL, and then we set the other one as a default to none, and then after that we just return SSX. Then the get access signature, we're gonna pass our block name, our permission, and the header, and then from there we use this cloud blob, and then after that we just get the blob name, and then after that we just return the access signature from the value that we have passed there. So the other one, which is our string, the get share access signature, we're gonna pass the block and then a permission and the header, and then from there we just create a share access blob policy, which is gonna return as a blob URL and also the share access key. So now the first method that we created, you can see is the copy blob, which gonna need a source blob and the destination, and then from there we get the source URL from the get share access signature, and then also the same as the destination URL. From there we just return if it's a success or not, based on the return of our create success results. So the next thing that we're gonna do is the next method, which is create our directory. To get to call all our methods. So what I'm gonna do, again, I'll just copy and paste, but I think I've left one method, which is an update. Okay, so here, let's see where is complaining. I said blob, I said names. Wow. Yes, I'm typing error, so I'm also gonna update my interface. So let's go back to our service. So let me put our upload. Then I can explain it to you, this method. So here is our upload. So in the upload one, you can see we're just passing the blob name, and then we just do some check. If it ends with a slash, you know that is an invalid blob, and then after that we're gonna go and get the blob name. Again, we check if it exists, and then after that, if it exists, we delete it and return, and then from there, if it doesn't, we just do a permission to write, and then we write it there. So here is our process. This is our main method that we're gonna use to able to call all our commands. So the first one, you can see we just do a switch. We check, okay, if our blob, command is a blob list, we're gonna get all the list, and then if it's a delete, we're gonna delete it, and then again, if it's a copy, we check again, we do a copy, and then if it's upload, we do upload, and then if it's get, we do get blob. So we have already created all of that. You saw them. From the next part, what we're gonna do is to add our controller. So I'm gonna go to controller. So then this guy, I'm gonna delete it, and then delete, and then it's a delete, and then we're gonna add our new controller. So to get our new controller, we're gonna go to new scaffolding, and then, so before that, let me just copy this name so we can make our life much easier. So let's add new scaffolding. So our controller is an API controller, and I'm gonna use the empty one, and then I'm gonna put it there as a controller, and then you can just click finish. So it's gonna create our new controller. Access, Azure access, and then we pass. Let's see why it's giving us error here. Say it can find the first. Let me see here, which doesn't make a lot of sense because we create this process command. Let me see. Oh, I didn't name it correctly. Let me see. The process command. Which need a command. Blob name and blob name 2. So it was some copy and paste and spelling error. So this is how we done it, and then we are done. So this is the whole controller. So in part 2, I'm going to show you how we're going to able to run our API and able to call all this process that we've done. So let me just see if we don't have any. Okay, before I forgot, this project won't run because we still have to do our startup so that we can able to do our dependency injection, and also add cons, And then if you need to do some swagger, we can also add some swagger so that we can see if your application is running or not. So let me do that before we can do anything. So okay, don't have any errors. So we're gonna go to our startup class, and then we do configure our thingy. So I'll explain it to you. Let me just copy and paste everything to save time rather than to type them. So in this method, configuration method, you can see this one, configuration services. So what we're gonna do, let me just override everything. Let me explain everything from top to bottom. So you remember this class that we created earlier is the class that we're gonna go and read our values from the app settings .json. So we're gonna go and do that. So here we're just doing the add transact so that we can able to use our dependency injection. So you can see these are our interface and then our service class. So this one I don't really need it, so I can remove that. I don't really need it. So the swagger, again, like I said, so I'm gonna add our swagger file. So it's gonna need to update our NuGet so that we can able to use our swagger. So let's go to update our PI. Everything is completed. So in the part 2, I will able to show you, we're gonna create the front end using Angular and able to do all this operation, and then able to see if we can able to store all these files inside the Azure Storage. Thank you for watching, and then please subscribe, share, like, so that I can able to create more videos for you. I really appreciate it. Thank you.